Hi, my name is Christina and I'm here with
Hannah.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Minas Dollz Show.
Today we have our first guest, Oyinbo Princess. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks for having me.
So we've got a few questions for you.
Okay, great.
So how easy or difficult did you find it being a white woman breaking into the Nigerian film industry, which is predominantly male?
Well, to be honest with you, I have a fundamental background of acting, which I've established here in the UK. From a very young age, actually. From about 4, I joined the entertainment industry.
Okay.
And it's one of those things, really. It's just developed over time. I then grew very passionate about learning outside of the normal Hollywood. And Nollywood was something that isn't very well heard of here back then anyway.
Yeah.
And for predominantly, let me say, British-born white people, we wouldn't necessarily hear of Nollywood. So it was something that I really felt like exploring and seeing, what's different, what do they have that we don't have, maybe what do we have that they don't have. And that's when my love really started, I guess. It all stemmed from there. I find that being passionate about other cultures and trying to involve yourself in a culture that maybe isn't accustomed to you is a good way to get to know different people, get to know different traditions, and then, change your own values, change your own looks on life, and you get, a totally different outlook. You get to know, different ways that things are done. You can take things from them and benefit your own life, and maybe you can also take your own experiences and, benefit somebody else's life. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I guess that's where it all began, really.
And how did you learn the Nigerian pidgin English?
Well, pidgin English, that is obviously something that, as you know, I'm very accustomed to now, and I really enjoy it. It's something that's very, very different. Obviously, again, people see me and they might say, oh, there's no way she's going to understand this, or she's not going to grasp what's going on. So it's quite nice to be that little surprise factor sometimes. I feel that I actually had, a duty in a way to learn and understand, especially when it's like English. Like I say, it's so fine cut between what I already know and then what I need to learn and need to find out. It's like street English, isn't it? It's different.
So obviously you guys can speak pidgin English. Would you be able to teach me something that I would be able to use?
Of course, there's loads we can teach you. So, I think you need to start with greeting people. So you say something like, let's go, ready?
Yeah.
Alpha now.
Alpha now.
She's a natural. She's a natural. Yes, alpha now. So that's like, how are you?
How are you? Okay, so alpha now.
Yes, very good. You can drop the W. Alpha now.
So alpha now.
She's getting there already.
So what does the name Oyinbo Princess come from? How did you create the name? It's so unusual.
Yeah, it's
Oyinbo
different.
Princess.
Yeah, it's different. Well, Oyinbo basically means white, and that's known across Nigeria, not just Nigeria, but Cameroon, Ghana. There's a lot of countries that would know Oyinbo means white. And it was something that tiny little kids used to call me when I used to go to Nigeria first off. So they'd shout, hey Oyinbo, and they'd be waving, Oyinbo, Oyinbo. So that became my name.
Natural, yeah.
And princess, all women are princesses. So Oyinbo Princess, it makes sense.
Yeah. So what is your real name? Because everyone seems to know you as an Oyinbo Princess.
Yes.
What's actually your real name?
Well, my real name is Claire Edun, but I've dropped that name, I beg. Maybe leave that one for another side. My name is Oyinbo Princess. If you like princess, it's fine.
So what advice have you got for people that wants to, do acting, wants to, follow your art?
For me, I'd say if you have a dream, you have to keep hold of it. People will always try and knock you down. It doesn't matter what industry you go in. There will be people that will be jealous of you. There will be people that don't want to see you succeed. But as your show shows, women empowerment is very important. We should try to help one another. We should try to, be behind what anybody else's dream is. So my own would be, keep applying. If there's casting, put your name down, go and audition. You might get knocked back today, but it doesn't mean that tomorrow you will.
Never give up.
That's it. If you have a talent and you believe in your talent, That's the most important thing. It's key. Believe
Yeah.
in what you do.
Yeah.
If you believe in yourself, other people can believe in you. But if you don't believe and if you're hesitant, unfortunately, people will see that, especially when it comes to acting. You need to be confident. You need to know that you can do what it takes, you know, on set to succeed, basically.
I totally agree with you.
Definitely. So our topic today, obviously, we've got one every week.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be talking about the Kardashians, how they've become, you know, the status quo for in the media. So obviously a lot of girls are getting injections and surgery, filtering photos, contouring. So where do you stand on cosmetic surgery and women getting cosmetic surgery? Do you think it's right or wrong?
Well, I mean, I think it's a very individual thing. I can't really say yes or no because I think, like I say, the individuality is key and people need to feel comfortable in themselves. To me, being confident and being comfortable in your own skin is really, really important because, again, without that confidence, other people will see through you, they will see your weaknesses and you'll never feel happy. So if that makes you happy, go for it. But these things cost money as well. Even to go and buy makeup, to go and keep up to date with your hair, your nails, all those things cost money. As you can see, I don't really do my nails. I'm not really one for makeup. As you will see on social media, I often post posts very natural, no makeup at all. Primarily because I know my followers, you know, not everybody can afford it, and I don't want to portray something that people can't step in my footsteps for. I very much believe in, you know, self-love within. If you love yourself, people will love you for who you are.
That's true.
So, I mean, I do agree that, you know, if you do have the money there, and if it makes you comfortable in your own skin to wear a lot of makeup, or to maybe have breast enlargements, to have plastic surgery, Botox, all those things, fine. If you can do it and you can afford to do it and that makes you comfortable, you know, go there. But my own would be personally to love yourself for who you are within your own skin before you try and go any bit further, because those things will just help add to your original natural beauty rather than trying to buy it, you know. And, you know, Kim Kardashian, as we've used as an example, bless her, she's a lovely girl, she's beautiful, we all know that. But there's a lot of money involved as well. This doesn't come from Primark, it doesn't come from Superdrug. This is something, you
not
know,
necessarily attainable for every person.
So it's not really cheap. So if you can afford it,
if you can afford it,
down to the individual. I totally agree with you. Because, you know, you've got to love yourself first.
That's it.
You know?
I don't see it as a negative thing. I think, like I say, it is positive in its own way. And especially if you're on television all the time, I appreciate you are an idol and you do need to, you know, be comfortable with yourself. And if that makes you comfortable, that's what you need to do. But it's not by force. Let me by force.
Life is about being happy, and if you can afford it, that will make you happy. So why not? So it's down to the individual. Like you said, you've got to love yourself first.
That's it.
So that's very important.
So obviously you talk about, you know, self-love and confidence to post pictures without, you know, filter or makeup. What tips could you share with people, you know, who struggle with that? Because obviously the young youth coming up nowadays, it's everything's filtered and everything's changed, and it's where do you get the confidence to be able to post that, you know, picture with a bare face?
Well, it definitely has changed, because I remember the days when I used to take pictures and I'd have to dip them in solution and wait in a dark room before the picture came out. But I mean, nowadays with technology the way it is, like you say, filters are there at the press of a button, and they're so easy to use. And addictive, of course. I think, again, just try your own style. Try doing it without makeup. You know, instead of doing, you know, a filter that completely covers your face, try and maybe hold your camera at a different angle. I know I'm a bigger girl, and if I want a decent picture without 3 chins, I'll just hold my camera, you know, in a different way to be able to make myself feel more comfortable or confident. However, you know, it's one of those things. I think it's something that you can't really learn. You have to just develop yourself to be confident with yourself. Don't worry about what other people say. It's about you. It's about you loving you. You know, people will always hate you. People will always be out to be negative about you. But that isn't always a bad thing, because that can inspire you to be you even more. So
definitely.
That's how I feel.
Amazing.
Well, thanks guys.
So, Igbo Princess, tell us, what are your plans? What plans have you got for the future? What are you up to?
Well,
anything planned new coming up soon?
Yeah. Well,
Tell
at
us.
the moment, as you know, I've just got back from Nigeria. I've been away for quite a few months, and I've been really pushing my project, which is the Oyibo Princess Outreach. So those who know, obviously know, those who don't, it's really about taking children off the street, putting them into education, and trying to give that foundation of life, which I believe comes from education and having that right to go and study. There, you know, obviously poverty is everywhere, but my heart lies in Nigeria, so that's where I'm focusing on. Since I've been out there, I've actually managed to put children into education. We've managed to donate food over Christmas. That was a key thing that my outreach did, trying to take food to those, you know, who genuinely don't have food.
So, Igbo Princess, apart from your charity, have you got anything planned? Any other thing, like, you know,
Well,
happening soon?
you know, I'm very passionate about food. So I'm really trying to do something for my viewers, something that people really like, something that I enjoy and that I'm passionate about.
Okay.
So having my own cooking show is something that I'm really keen on doing, and I've actually been trying to develop this for some time now. Up until now, it's just been an idea. I'm very much still looking for sponsors and looking for people to support me in this movement. So the idea is basically that I will be cooking Nigerian dishes in Nigeria in
On the
different
streets.
areas. Yeah, on the street. So, and that also goes in line with my charity, because if, for example, today, I don't know, I cook jollof rice, or maybe we do egusi with poundo, there's always children around, and those children are often the children that are not in education, hence why they're around during the day. So once I finish cooking, you know, you can feed mouths at the same
Give back to
time.
the community.
So I'll be able to always give to where I am, which is really important to me.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea, because Nigeria is very easy to get the crowd. You see, when you start doing
Definitely.
something, you know, you get the crowd just so quickly.
And something I'm really passionate
That actually
about.
drives traffic.
That's
you know?
it. And Nigeria is so full of colours. It's full of richness.
And the
It's
food's
full of
gorgeous, amazing.
I mean, I want to be able to really portray that aroma through the camera. Even though you obviously can't smell it, I want it to almost be like an artificial smell that, you know, people will be believing they're actually there. They can see it. That's it. So it's going to be very, you know, it will be unique, because one, obviously, I look different to what people
you're not
would
from
expect.
Nigeria. Attract.
That's it. Two,
There,
it can promote the language. I think Pidgin English is something that's amazing. It's come from many years ago with traders. I think it should still be embraced. And people shouldn't shy away from it. I know a lot of families that basically don't want their children to speak Pidgin because they see it as, you know, not as high a class as English. But if it's part of your tradition, learn it. You know, you don't have to use it all the time.
Agree,
You know, you can choose when to speak English, and when to break it down. So my program will be in Pidgin English, and it will be promoting different dishes, and who knows. I like Niger food, so I've got passionate about everything. Anything with pepper, and Niger food is all about pepper. So I really like so many dishes. I like making pepper soup. Egusi is one of my favourites. Efo riro, there's so many.
So you're planning to start the show, you must have the food that you have in your mind that you're going to use to open your show.
Yes,
so, and that
it will probably be egusi.
Okay.
Because egusi is,
I think that's what you're really good at.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I hope as well, as I move around, I can maybe do, you know, particular dishes from that area. Like if I was to go to Benin, I could do a black soup. Whereas, you know, maybe do a banga soup somewhere else, you know, to try and take those dishes from
the
where
different
they come.
regions. Even
if I can't be in that region, I can talk about that region. I can talk about the food, and we can discuss, you know, where the food comes from here locally, as in Nigeria, and then how to buy the food back home in the UK. Because that is one obstacle people often say to me, where'd you find that? So, you know, I'll be able to give links, I'll be able to give advice on where to buy it. And we'll be interviewing celebrities on my show as well.
Okay,
so
sounds good.
That will be another way.
So you're going to have us on your show.
That's it. You'll be there tasting my food. Live and direct, for sure.
Can't wait.
Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, that's about it for now. That's where I am. That's where we're going.
So you have to try and keep us posted so we know when all this, you know, started.
Yes, don't you worry. I'll be back.
Welcome back to the Minas Dollz Talk Show. We have with us as our second guest, Vanessa William.
She's here to talk about her new book, Turning Point. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so humbled and honoured for the opportunity today.
So, Vanessa, you've written a book called Turning Point. What was your inspiration and motivation for writing the book?
Well, turning point, how God turned my darkness into marvelous light, is really my inspiration was God, how he turned things around for me. And I wanted to share my testimony with other people so that they can be empowered.
Okay.
Okay, turning point, provide readers with the tools to change their life around, preventing the negative experience of the past affecting the future. So who do you think would benefit from reading your book, Turning Point?
Anybody that is entrapped by their past, that want to be really set free, that want to get a closer relationship with God, I think this book will be a blessing to them and really give them key strategies how to overcome the past and live life and live in their purpose and live life fulfillingly.
So what was the moment for you that the epiphany that made you realise that, you know, you had that connection with God, and, you know, did you have to hit a rock bottom to
The testimony.
to find
Tell
out
us
about the
it,
testimony? Yeah.
That's why you got to get the book. But to be honest, you know, although my mum's a pastor, and being a pastor's kid, we went church, but I was never in the church. I was going, but my heart wasn't in it. I didn't have a relationship with God myself. So what was the turning point for me is, you know, one, I'm in the VIP suite, wearing the red bottoms, partying, drinking, smoking, thinking I'm the life of the party. But when I got home, I was broken. But when I got home, I was drinking by myself and slowly really killing myself because I was empty. There was a void missing. And when I got to know God for myself, that void was filled. And I felt happy and I felt peace. And that's what I want people to experience, encounter God for themselves and know that he's able to turn their darkness into marvelous light. He's able to turn their test into testimonies. You cannot go too low. God can reach you at your lowest point. You just got to give him the opportunity to.
Obviously, we know that you're an empowerment speaker.
Yes.
So our show is obviously concerned with women empowerment. So in terms of obviously what women empowerment actually means to you, could you describe to the viewers, you know, what that, obviously we know you're
What does women empowerment mean?
yeah, like what does women empowerment actually, what's the definition for you?
The definition of women empowerment for me would really be to help give people strategies that they can empower themselves. Empowered women can empower women. And because I'm an empowered woman myself, when I get connected to someone, because I also do empowerment coaching too, where I do one-to-one mentorship session, because there's only so much that you can do online live when I do my empowerment broadcast. So when I do that one-to-one mentorship, I'm able to really release key strategies, deal with past issues, deal with the thing that's blocking someone from really being who they have been called to be. Okay. So for me, it's being who you're called to be, walking in victory, walking in power, walking in authority, and really fulfilling your own purpose.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's good. I totally agree. So have you got any plans for the future? What next? What are you planning? What's happening? What's new?
Well, I'm actually in the process of writing my second book, and that's about women in ministry, and it's talking about like the different women in the Bible, because as a woman minister, I believe that there's a lot of controversy about women being preachers, prophetesses, and all of these things. So that book is really helping people to go back and look through scripture and see how powerful women were even in the Bible, how God used them, and how we should walk in that authority today.
Brilliant. Can't wait to read the next one. Yeah.
So when is this gonna be ready?
Well, I'm literally working on it now, so I want to definitely launch it by September.
Okay.
And I'm also doing my coaching, and we've got an outreach that we're doing in Jamaica. So there's lots of different things.
So where can people, you know, buy the book Turning Point, obviously, and where can they find out more about what you're doing and your story?
Okay, so my book is available on my website, and that's the www.thepowerofloveministry.com, because I'm also the founder of a ministry too.
Oh my gosh, so what's going on?
So yes, there's a lot going on. So if everyone can connect with me there. I'm on all social media sites. I do a lot of empowerment broadcasts to really reach people where they are.
What are your media site? Can you say it so the viewers that want to reach out to you, they can?
Yes, my Facebook is Benicia Williams, and my Instagram is @poweroflove_min. So I'm sure it's going to be typed in the screen. Just so you guys can really stay connected. I believe there's no limits to really spreading the gospel. And one of the things God did say to me is He wants me to use anything that the enemy used for bad. He wants me to use it for good. You know, there's sometimes so much negativity when you switch on Insta, Twitter, or Facebook. So I want to be that light in the midst of the darkness.
So can you tell us about your ministry? What is the inspiration behind the ministry?
Well, the ministry is called the Power of Love Ministries. I believe, God is love, and it's about spreading love across the nation, and it's also about spreading the gospel, empowering people to get to know God for themselves.
Brilliant.
Okay.
It was actually founded on WhatsApp. When I got saved, I created a WhatsApp group, and it just sprang forth from there. We was just doing prayers and intercession, and it just grew from there.
Like live video ones, or just messages?
On WhatsApp, we was just doing like prayers and fasting and so forth, and people across the world started joining.
So how do you actually do that on WhatsApp? Were you guys doing live videos or?
No, it was like a WhatsApp group. This was
okay.
Yeah, this was about 4 years ago now, and it was just basically just everyone empowering each other and really praying. And if there's anybody that needed prayer or so forth, that's how it started from there, until we started doing prayer meetings on a Friday, and it grew from there. Yeah, go to the powerofloveministry.com, and all the information's on there. We just recently moved to Streatham, so you can, I hope to see you all.
Yeah.
So is it like church? Do you do Sundays, Saturdays, and?
Our service is actually on a Saturday.
Okay, what time?
It is 2:30 till 5:30.
So live video on Facebook?
No, it's in a building in Streatham.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about people that are not in London? How can they connect?
Oh, they can connect through, you can go to the Power of Love Ministry Facebook page.
Yeah.
And there's weekly empowerment videos that we put up.
So when when you're doing your service, do you go live? Because these days most churches, when they are doing the service, they always go live, so people that are not actually in that area can connect.
We do live sometimes, but we don't do it all the time, just because we want people to really come out and join us.
Yeah.
In the flesh. We want to see them.
So are you married? Have you got kids?
No, I'm not married yet. I am actually single.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not married. No, I'm not married. I'm actually a single parent of two children. Yes.
Great. And has that been? And how do you involve them in your, teachings and things? Do you think that this is obviously you've come to this epiphany at a good time? Was this before you had your children or after you had your children?
It was after I had my children. I always had a relationship with God, but I never really got committed until after I had my children. And as I said, when I was just literally feeling like there's too much of a void. So yeah.
Yeah. So do you think that helps you in your parenting and in your?
Oh yes, it does.
Yeah,
It definitely gives me patience that I need. With 2 children, one's 11 and one's 5.
Okay.
So with 2 children, it actually gives me the patience that I need, and also to really give them guidance.
Yeah.
As well. Not only academically, but spiritually, give them guidance as well. So there's different things that we do throughout the week that's live, that people can really get connected with us, and hopefully draw them to really come and fellowship with us at our ministry. But we do realize that there's people in Jamaica, there's people all over the world, Nigeria, other parts of the world that can't be there physically. So we still want to get that message across by doing other broadcasts throughout the week.
So what about people like us that don't live in your area, and maybe we would love to join your worship, your church, but we can't come because we don't live in the area. So how do we, join you without you doing live?
No, we do live sometimes, but we don't do it all the time. It's not something that we do it like every Saturday. We stream live, but we do stream live sometimes, especially we've got a convention coming up where that will be streamed live.
It's not something you think you look into since you're the founder?
No, that's why I do it sometimes. I don't do it all the time though, because if you do it continuously, even those that are in the area tend to just watch it from the comfort of their own home. And I'm guilty of doing that myself sometimes.
Yeah.
So I know both sides of it.
So on the WhatsApp group, since your ministry was founded from the WhatsApp group and now you're big, are you gonna, set up another WhatsApp group?
That WhatsApp group is actually still running. The WhatsApp group is still running. Because we've got people, as I said, it's international, so we've got people all over different parts of the world that do streaming via WhatsApp. And I think it's important to really have different streams of communication where people can be connected. So we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on Periscope, we're on Snapchat, we're on all these different streams, and Facebook, just to keep that connection flowing.
As many people as you can, yeah.
As I said, that's one of my passions. Using what the enemy meant for bad and using it for good, being that positive energy out there, being that inspiration out there. And sometimes when I feel that, I can't be bothered with this anymore, someone will send me an email and say, Minister V, that broadcast you done really blessed me. I felt like giving up. I felt like committing suicide. And that's why I keep pushing. That's why the WhatsApp group's still up. That's why there's always Facebook lives going up, to encourage people and reach them from the comforts of their own home.
What's your relationship with your mom?
Well, when I was growing up, I found her to be very, very strict. But as I got older, I realized what she was doing is just because she loved me. And even though my mom was a pastor, she always gave me that opportunity to make my own decisions. So she showed me, she taught me the things of God, and I saw by the lifestyle that she lived, really how it is to serve God. But I wanted to do what my friends was doing. I wanted to do what was cool at the time to me. So I would say she laid the foundation for me, but gave me the opportunity to really get to know God for myself. And I think me not being killed out there by having that type of lifestyle and doing some of the things that I had done was through her prayers.
So how did she cope?
She coped by praying, and she was still doing what she done, and she already taught me and my brothers the right way to go. So there was not much else she could do.
So every time when you go out and come back drunk, your mom is in the house? When you leave time?
Children have ways of doing things. I say, Mom, can I stay at my friend's house?
Yeah, but you did mention that you used to drink alone at home.
Yeah, that was when I was living by myself. I wasn't living with my mom at the time. But even when I was living with her and I wanted to go out party with my friends, she would not stop me. She wouldn't stop me from going out because...
She didn't try to talk to you that this is not the right way.
I already knew that was the right way from when I was growing up. But I still had to make my own decisions. She allowed me to do that. And I thank her for that, because if she didn't, I wouldn't have been the woman I am today.
Yeah.
So I think it's important for even parents, you show your children the right way, but don't force them. Let them come to
their own time.
Yeah, let them come to that decision, because when they do, as for me now, there's no turning back, because I was not forced to.
So obviously, in this day and age, and in London, where we are today, there's obviously a lot of gang violence and gang crime. So what place do you think the church or religion has in helping to turn that around?
The killing.
I think really they need to bring back the love of God and the teachings of God back into the schools. Once we take that out of the schools, and there's so much things on social media, society, that's been an influence subconsciously to the children. And I think that parents need to come together and really begin to pray, stand in the gap and pray, and really teach them by not judging them, but by loving them. Love is the greatest gift of all. And I think if sometimes these children join these gangs because they want to belong. because they feel like they don't fit in.
Yeah.
So I think that what London needs to do is bring back those community centres that they keep shutting down and let the kids have somewhere to go so that they can be developed, so that they can be educated and equipped and not fall into these things that are really happening today. I think that it needs to happen from they're 6-7 years old and up, because now I remember when I was growing up, I used to get to go to the community centre, express myself, but now you see them hanging out in the blocks because and I speak to them and they're like, we haven't got anywhere to go. So we need to bring back those community centres. We need to come together, not only as a church, but as a community, and let them belong somewhere and have somewhere to develop them and nurture them. I think that love is the key to stopping, the violence. That's what we see happening today, and the parents coming into a place of prayer as well. Because I remember when I was growing up, all of the old people prayed. But the people my age now, as we talked about before, everyone's too busy doing their own thing. And I feel the children have got lost in what everybody else wants to do. So I think that we need to get back into the gap, bring back that community of really coming together, empowering, especially single parents. I love you guys. So, especially because there's a lot of single mothers out there that don't know what to do with these teenagers. So I think if there's more male mentors that's growing up to show these with a positive, they've got jobs and that they can show them different trades, get them into something, let them use their time valuable so they don't get lost to the streets.
I totally agree. Sometimes important are the things that actually leads. Joining band can, because they have nowhere to go.
Because they have nowhere to go.
Yeah, when you keep them busy, you can actually
do something, even different trades and stuff like that. They need mentors, especially, those that don't have a father figure in their life. There needs to be more male mentors
role models for them,
that they can really look up to. So that's where I think it would be a nice place to start.
So you said Turning Point, your book Turning Point said provide the readers with the tools to change their life around. So what are the tools?
Well, I can't give you all of them. Let me think.
Just one or two.
If I was to give you one, I would say the main thing is to get to know God for yourself, and because when you repent and ask God to forgive your sins, what I noticed is one of the main things, even though God forgives you, that we do not tend to forgive ourselves. And that's what I think a key tool is, to forgive yourself, to love yourself, to embrace the freedom that you do get from really accepting Christ and being free from the past pain, the past hurt. No matter what it is, God's able to remove that. And sometimes we hold on to those things. We hold on to, he wasn't there for me, or I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have done this. But when you really realize that there's so much free, I'm so free. I didn't realize how much weight I was carrying until I let go and let God.
When you say forgive yourself, so please explain, what do you mean?
I mean, from, even me, I've had 2 children out of wedlock. So that means I committed fornication. I had to forgive myself for doing that and being disobedient to God. I had to forgive myself for, the father may not be in my child's life now because of the decisions that I made. So those are the things that I had to confront and remove that pain, remove that rejection, remove that hurt, remove that abandonment. Those are the things that I'm talking about when I say to forgive yourself. Is really letting go from those things that have you bound, that have you not able to have healthy relationships because you think that you can't trust anymore. You're scared to love because you think that somebody is not going to be there for you, or they're going to abuse you, or mistreat you. So those are the things that I'm talking about, really being set free from the past so you can embrace healthy relationships. But it starts by being healthy yourself.
So obviously you're a glamorous lady. Some people would look at you and think that you don't appear like what they believe a Christian would look like. So what's your views on that in terms of dress code and appearance, in terms of attending the church and your relationship with God? Yeah.
Oh, that's a very good question. Well, I believe that you're supposed to come to God as you are, and the Holy Spirit will do the changes that's necessary that needs to be done. Even though I look glamorous now, you're not seeing breasts, legs, and thighs. Do you understand? You can make yourself look presentable without having to be covered from the top of your head to the sole of your feet, because I believe that God judges the heart. And I believe that, that's that person, that's when you have an encounter, you're not worried about what people think. You're comfortable with yourself and you still want to look nice.
Yeah, you tend to feel good.
As I've said, I'm still single.
Yeah, exactly, got me a man.
So, I believe that you're supposed to come to God as you are. The Holy Spirit makes the changes that's necessary. And we're not to judge, because everybody goes through their process differently. Mm-hmm. So not because God's changed something within me, I've been convicted about something with me, I'm going to judge you now and say, hold on, she shouldn't be wearing that.
Yeah.
Or, oh no, but she's got lipstick, she's not saved. No. That is the mentality that's blocking people from getting to know God
to be able to
and building that relationship. So you can come to church as you are. Sometimes it's jeans and trainers, At the end of the day, it's about the reason you're coming to fellowship and serve God.
So Vanessa, obviously you've joined us. So what's your opinion on our topic today in terms of women empowerment, obviously discussing the Kardashians being sort of the status quo of modern beauty and women, trying to aspire to these people, so getting sort of cosmetic surgery or injections. What's your take or view on that?
Oh, well, my personal opinion on that is I believe that, God created you already perfectly. I don't believe that there needs to be any adjustments. I do take into consideration so if people get in accidents or so forth, and they need it for medical purposes. But I think that when you start altering your body and you start altering your image, it can become addictive, and you can actually lose who you were actually formed to be. You can lose your identity just trying to be somebody else. So I believe to embrace the beauty from within. Beauty is from within. It's about the heart.
So, I still believe it depends on the individual, because life is about being happy. If that makes you happy, if you, because some people, they don't like themselves, they become depressed. And life is about being happy.
That is not a physical issue, that's an emotional issue. So that person needs to really get counseled. If you're not happy with yourself, that's not really physical, it can be emotional. Maybe there's some trauma that took place. As being a certified counsellor, I deal with things like that all the time. And oftentimes the root issue is something emotional. It's a change of perspective rather than having to change your image, because then where would it end?
See, I do agree. But I do believe as well that, if somebody isn't comfortable, whether, they have that counselling or not, because some people, again, might not feel like they can approach a counsellor, or it doesn't work for them to go and talk about a problem, deep within. So as much as I agree with what you're saying, I also do believe that if that particular surgery or Botox or makeover is really going to help you to build your own self-esteem.
And if you can afford it.
Yeah, if you can afford it.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
No.
Because down to the individual.
Yeah.
You've got to be happy. You've got to live for you.
Yeah.
That's
See, I don't have plastic surgery. I haven't had Botox. But who knows, if I had the money back in the day when maybe I was struggling with my image, maybe I would have done it.
Also, where's the line? Because obviously we use, makeup, we use our clothes, we use things like that to change our appearance
on a daily
basis. So I mean, it's more severe to change something that's then unchangeable with surgery, but it's still following the same message, isn't it? It's trying to make yourself look a certain way that you're happy with. So I think that it's just so many blurred lines, it's so hard, but I do believe that if you are doing it for yourself and not to try and look like someone, because the thing is, I think some people are trying to look like Kim Kardashian. You're never going to look like Kim Kardashian. You're not Kim Kardashian,
You are you.
So
you are you.
Exactly, you are.
That's it. There's a different image.
But if it's to make you happy and then you can afford it, I think there's nothing wrong. It's down to the individual. It's when you can afford it, I think,
Because I also, when you were saying about emotional trauma from within, it's not always good to mask these things with, your exterior beauty. However, if that makes you feel content with who you are by
Exactly.
masking it, and then you wake up every day, you know, seeing the results and feeling happy, I think that feeling happy is so much more important than worrying
Very,
what
very
other
important.
people think about whether it's right or wrong to do it. I think, you know, individually.
I totally respect your point of view, but I just think that where does it stop though? Because a lot of 9 times out of 10, a lot of people do that and they're still unhappy.
But then it's like with tattoos, isn't it? I mean, people take tattoos and some, you know, have one, some have thousands, but it's the same with, you know, people go and have their eyebrows tattooed. But should we worry about where it stops when it's up to them? You know, if it's their body, it's up to them what they do. You know, so what if they spend
As
only
long as it makes them
£100 or
happy.
£10,000? You know, if they've got the money and they can do it, you know, it doesn't
Because
matter.
at the end of the day, you've got to live for you. You've got to be happy because it's what you have inside, you got to give outside. If you're not happy, you can't.
Some people don't feel they can show their personality.
Well, we're not plants.
Unless they're...
At the end of the day, with a plant, you can see the beauty from the outside, and you know that's that. But from a human being, I think the beauty really comes from within. And if you don't feel beautiful, you won't look beautiful. So you know, if it makes you happy, do it.
Makes you feel confident.
I still stand by my point of you need to feel confident with who you are within first, without all of that. You know, and if you need that to make yourself feel confident, you know, who am I to tell you you can't do that? You know.
So, for example, take Michael Jackson, for instance. You know, he ended up getting so much different plastic surgery until he was unrecognizable. When you see the before picture to the after picture, you would never think that it was the same person.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. However, again, you
really
wouldn't. I mean, I still stand with though, if that's what made him comfortable, whether, you know, other people might look at it as in he's messed around with his appearance. If that's what made him comfortable, then who are we to
But
judge?
we could also argue that it wasn't making him comfortable because he kept on going back
No,
until his
really,
nose
satisfied.
was non-existent, and it was like it almost, you know, gave him sort of body dysmorphia. I think people thought he
it
had
almost degraded.
Yeah, because it was like he just and then he just still couldn't see that the changes were being made, so he kept on making them, and he just wasn't finding any contentment through it. So it's
true. It is a controversy.
So there's really two sides to it.
Yeah.
Me speaking from a minister perspective, I believe God created you. He's wonderfully, fearfully made. I don't feel that there needs to be no adjustment, but that's my personal view. Do you understand? But I still reason and take on to your perspective from your point of view. So
I think as individuals, you know, as we all look different today, we all have an individual mindset behind it. Some will agree, some won't.
disagree.
But I think if we can just accept other people for their own decisions and their own, you know, values in life, and not to be too quick to judge, because we don't know why they make those decisions. If that's what makes them happy, then,
and that's women empowerment, isn't it? It's empowering women to make their own decisions.
and be who they
And not
are.
judge each other and not put each other down over it, and just accept that we're all going to be, you know, do things in our different way and think things differently. Yeah.
So you don't feel different because you like surgery doesn't mean nothing. You know what I mean? So you know that makes you happy. Makes you happy.
I think we should agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Big T's, the Afrobeat Junkie. As you know, UK-based artist, do music, rapping, singing, a bit of producing as well. Yeah, I just do me really, and I'm based in the UK. You can check me online. I'm online everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. Gang.
So have you got any new song just now? What have you got going on right now?
Yeah, I just finished my EP called Walk. So 7 tracks. So I'm probably gonna drop soon as well. So and I've got a couple of cover songs as well from Wizkid, Kids Daniel. You can find everything on YouTube. It's everywhere.
What's your YouTube channel for people?
Big Tizzy.
Big Tizzy.
Just Big Tizzy. And you can find me online, Instagram, Big Tizzy Official, Twitter, Tizzy UK, Snapchat, Big Tizzy 12. Just Big Tizzy everywhere. Just Google me, man.
So for those that don't know, obviously, what kind of music you do, what artists, mainstream artists, would you relate yourself to or say are your inspiration?
Basically, I've been doing it for a minute. I've been doing music for a minute, so you can say obviously now I do Afrobeat. If you know Wizkid, Davido, and some other UK people as well. So Afro, there's a lot of things going on right now as well in the UK called
It's very current, yeah.
Afro swing, all of that. So yeah, we have. So we keep Afrobeat moving, you know.
Yeah.
That's what it is, and it's a beautiful song, beautiful music.
So how long have you been singing? How long have you been?
I've been in the game for like almost 10 years still. But I started as a DJ, so from DJing, so I got involved in music. So obviously I got a good voice, they say.
So who are the audience you actually target with your songs?
Because with my music, I can do, I'm flexible with what I do. So I can do songs for strictly white people if I want to. I can do it for black people, but I do Afrobeat music from like, for everyone really. No particular people you like it, especially white people.
African, Caribbean, kind of thing,
Or just Nigerian?
Yeah, because obviously I've been in Scotland, Dublin, not just black people in there, white people. There was a time as well I was just singing like Bo Shai, the white girl just came, jacked the mic, and started singing. I was like, is that you? Yeah, cool. Yeah, it was a beautiful feeling as well. So yeah, my music's for different people, black, white, Asian. It don't matter, because I listen to other music as well. Bengali music, Asian music, so many stuff I listen to. Now I keep it moving because I started as a DJ, so I don't put myself in one box. So I listen to different stuff just to help myself and inspire people too. I mean, the real Afrobeat that I actually know, because if you Google it, because I remember back in the day when I used to go online called Yahoo Music. So when I type Afrobeat, I listen to old school Aquala, hip hop, Baba Fela, King Sonade, Wasiu. So those are the Afrobeat was named online. So now we started doing modern Afrobeat. I don't know, from nowhere someone called it Afrobeat. I just call it Nigerian music. That's how I call it, because obviously it depends. When you start calling Afrobeat, then you just put it in one box, do I say it? You know what I'm saying? But Afrobeat in the UK, that's what we call it. So obviously it's making wave right now. So, but the original Afrobeat is actually the old school, those people that I mentioned earlier.
So obviously for all the viewers and ladies out there, what is actually your relationship status at the minute?
I'm single at the moment.
Okay.
Are you
Yeah,
looking for a girlfriend?
Yeah, looking.
Come again?
Are you looking for a Mrs.?
I'm not looking, they're looking for me, man. Ladies!
Just a little something. Let the marriage bless me with something, yo, baby, yo. Tonight, I'm gonna show you. And let the marriage bless you with booty, yo, baby, yo. Tonight, you gonna show me. Oh yeah, lock up. Every show lock